Throughout the morning, let's bring in right now Governor Mike Huckabee. He's with us. He may have a little different view on our founding fathers, what our founding fathers believed in than Christopher Hitchens. We'll check and see, though, right now. Governor, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great, Joe. Nice to talk to you and Mika. And by the way, Willie Geist was on the plane with me from Dallas to Los Angeles yesterday. And I think the air marshals had to take him off.
I was going to say, anytime I hear anybody's flying with Willie Geist, chances are good he's drinking too much vodka and he's actually standing on top of the drink cart. So I'm glad you're safe this morning.
He was drooling all over himself. He said he was coming out here to do some cougar prowling or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Cougar prowling. Willie Geist. Did you hear that?
Did he just say that?
Yeah, he did just say that because that's what Willie does.
But
young guy preying on older women. Look at him. And he's married. That's the sad thing about it. I know. Governor, you used to be a pastor. Maybe this guy can come to you and confess his sins and move on. So I heard you this weekend on NPR. And you did very well on the quiz. They were very surprised. And I think so many people are so surprised that an evangelical pastor and a governor, a conservative, actually knows music and pop culture.
Well, you know, I think sometimes people think that if you're a Christian, you've swallowed a curtain rod and you drink pickle juice every morning. That's not at all how it works. I love life. I'm having the time of my life. I think because I have a perspective of who I am and the context of the world that God's made, it's given me a much different perspective, and I'm not bitter and I'm not angry. In fact, I find myself filled with something that Christians love to talk about, joy. And that's a word you don't hear very often, but it's because you have a perspective. You know you're not the greatest thing that ever breathed. You know that you're flawed. You have errors and conflicts in your life, but you know that you're still accepted by the one person who's going to evaluate your life, not the editorial writers or the cartoonists or even the voters.
I take it your view of our founding fathers is a bit different from Christopher Hitchens, who said they were secularists.
Well, I think it would be very different because if you go back and read the history, there was an incredible amount of just discord and conflict going on as they were trying to come up with a constitution. And Benjamin Franklin suggested that they set apart a day of prayer and fasting, which they did. The result of that afterwards was that they were able to come together. And, you know, I'm not trying to suggest that our nation is a Christian nation in the sense that its purpose is to promote Christianity. What I would say, it is flavored by a Judeo-Christian ethic and moral, which says that all people are created equal. Let's remember what the Declaration says, that we are endowed by who? Our Creator, with inalienable rights. And inalienable means that nobody can take them from us because nobody gave them to us. God gave us those rights, and their life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, that's what they said. Now, either they were liars then, or Christopher Hitchens has found out something that the rest of us haven't known all this time.
Well, and you have the first Supreme Court Justice, John Jay, saying it was a duty of Americans to actually vote for only Christian men. Nobody would suggest that today, but please don't tell me that all of our founding fathers were deists or secularists. Let's talk about this Patraeus ad that MoveOn.org put out. You sent out a blistering press release and even said to accuse a patriotic, honorable, and highly decorated soldier like General David Patraeus of treason is appalling. Explain that.
Well, first of all, I just find it beyond reproach that there's an ad like this that would really disparage the honor of a person who has an unblemished record as a military commander and who currently is leading our men and women into battle this very moment. And then to accuse him of treason is just beyond the pale. And first of all, I think every candidate for president, Republican or Democrat, who wants to be the commander-in-chief of the military needs to be just unequivocal and say, this is simply unacceptable. And I'm waiting for the Democrat candidates for president who want to be commander-in-chief, who want to have the respect of the men and women that they may have to send into battle. I want them to take issue with this, because if they don't, I'm not sure how they have any credibility whatsoever to say they want to command people, but they won't defend the very generals who lead them into battle.
All right. Governor Mike Huckabee, we got to go, but thanks so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure. I'll keep an eye on Willie while I'm out here.
I was going to say thanks for the report on Willie, and rock on, Governor. Rock on.
Drink.
More Morning Joe straight ahead.